what she saw gave her a chill. My dear, 3 big capsule of drug, red capsule, untouched, untampered. They were just the way they were when they were placed inside the bottle. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I am here with a new update. It is not an update on how to grow a YouTube channel, it's actually a story, and I want to hear your take on it. I don't know the way people think or reason in this life, but I'm just perplexed by what is going on. It happened to a very close friend of mine. This incident happened recently and came to my knowledge, and I said, let me trace to the house. I really want to know your take on it. If it was you, what would you do? Okay, it so happened that this friend of mine was dating a guy she met at work. The guy was pretending to be all nice, kind and decent, and they dated for 8 months. This guy went as far, don't mind my baby, he does this all the time whenever I'm making videos. Okay, this guy went as far as introducing himself to her family, telling them that he wants to spend the rest of his life with this girl. He wants eternity, he wants this, he wants that, even against her wish, because she felt it was so soon, or rather too soon, for him to start introducing himself to her family, but he went ahead to do it without her consent. So she wasn't really pleased, but she tended to have this mindset that, okay, it seems that he's really serious. He wants something more from her. One day, she was off duty at work and she decided to spend the day with the love of her life. She went over to his place as usual. This is somebody you've been dating for 8 months. You cook for him, you do a lot of things for him, although you don't sleep in his house. And according to her, whenever she goes to his house and he throws advances at her, she declines, because she just have this, she was not really ready for sexual relationship at that point in time in her life. Though she was an adult, a young adult, but she was not ready. And she told this guy that she was a virgin, she hasn't done it before, and it's not as if she don't want to do it, but for now she's not ready, that she wants to do it right with the right man, her husband, and blah 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 blah, as the story may go. And whenever she tells the guy this, he just looks at her and asks her to promise that whenever she's ready to do it, he should be the lucky guy. And she would feel so emotional and say, why not, my love? On this particular day, she went to spend the day with him. On getting there, as usual, they exchanged pleasantries, and he went out, got her a bottle of malt and brought it to the room. So she just lay down on his bed sipping the malt. He opened it in her presence. That's one trick that people also do. And she was just sipping and sipping this drink. The irony of everything was that she spent approximately like 6 hours in his house that day, and all this while she was sipping one bottle of malt. She didn't turn it in a glass, she was just so safe sipping that bottle of malt. And when it was close to 3, she noticed that all through the day he was not himself. He was just so restless, moving around up and down, going outside, coming inside. She asked him if everything was all right, and he said yes, there's nothing to be worried about, he just thinks about something else, and that was it. So when it was 3, she decided to take the last gulp of the malt so that she would leave. Fortunately, he was not in the room at that particular point in time. So she took the last gulp of the drink. Lo and behold, what she saw. She felt some substance fall into her mouth. And as usual, she just felt, because we've been hearing stories while growing up. I also had such stories whereby people would just open their bottle of drink and they'll tend to see some substance in it, either those kind of deaths and all that. How people tend to sue bottling companies, and she just felt it was one of those scenarios. She felt irritated and ran outside to throw out the substance. Luckily, she has not swallowed any of it, so they were just in her mouth. And she went out, threw the substance, and what she saw gave her a chill. idea. 3 big capsule of drug, red capsule, untouched, untampered. They were just the way they were when they were placed inside the bottle. And she was so disappointed because definitely you of all people would know who did this. It is not the bottling company, it's not the brewery that made that malt. It's the person that opened it for you and the person you are with at home. And it was just the both of them. At that point, she just had a realization that she was not safe. Luckily, the guy was not in the house, so the first thought that came into her mind was to run into the room, pick up her bag, and come outside. Because if she had confronted him inside the room, you know, a desperate man can do anything. He would have maybe done whatever was in his mind, because as a woman, she's more vulnerable than a man. So what she did, she ran inside, picked her bag, came outside, and stood waiting for him to come back so that she would confront him outside where people are actually listening. So when he came, shortly she took him to the backyard and showed him, and he started crying and saying he didn't know what happened. It was the devil's work. I don't know if it was the devil that carried the tablet and took it inside the bottle. What is the devil's work there? I don't understand why people will end up doing something evil and they'll be saying it's the devil's work. If that drugs had dissolved in her drink and she drank it, only God knows what would have happened to this girl. There are lots of things apart from rape. What about selling her organs or using her desperately for one money rituals or the other? Right now that you are caught, you are saying devil's work. Is it devil that came out from wherever he is and put the tablet in the malt organ? The hearts of men actually are desperately wicked. So in the process of him begging and crying, she just took her bag and went out of his house. She said she didn't know what to. She was just like in denial. She, you know, when you're in dilemma, you don't know what you are supposed to do or what you are supposed to think at that particular point in time. So when she boarded a vehicle going home, that is when she realized that God has just saved her life from an unknown incident. And she burst into tears, starts crying. That she didn't mind it was a public vehicle. She cried and cried and cried and cried her eyes out. So right now, the question I'm about to ask is, if it was you, what would you do? Because presently she didn't know what to do. Although I gave her my own personal advice, like stay away from that guy. He is not your life partner. Because the guy has been begging, he's been sending texts and all that, but I actually warned her, irrespective of the amount of love she's feeling, that love is supposed to die that minute she saw that substance in her drink. This guy is a killer, is an hotter, is a hammer, so run away from him. Please, you guys, go on to the comment section and tell me what you would do, or rather what's the right thing to do on this situation. God help his children. Peace out.